Hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on the advantages of virtual mobile numbers via VoIP. I'm Liam, I'm from VoIP Telecom.
And I'm Dean, and I'm from VoIP Cloud Wholesale. Together, we'll show you how our platform helps both partners and businesses thrive in the modern communication space.
Here's what we'll be covering today: understanding virtual mobile numbers, business advantages, and how to get started, which will be a live product demonstration.
This is a short 30 to 45-minute session with a Q&A session at the end. You can post your questions using the Q&A option at the top of the Teams window throughout the session, and we'll respond to these questions at the end of the session. We'll also share contact details if you'd like to connect with us directly afterwards. Virtual mobile numbers are just like your regular mobile numbers, but hosted in the cloud. Unlike traditional SIM-based numbers, these can operate independently.
Some of the key features we offer for virtual mobile numbers include inbound SMS to email, two-way voice and outbound SMS via our Webphone application, or utilizing our third-party integrations with MS Teams.
Traditional mobile numbers cannot easily be shared between multiple people or people in part-time roles. With virtual mobile numbers, you can have multiple people using the number simultaneously for calls and have shared access to the same SMS conversations.
As you can see, virtual mobile numbers have many different uses and wide range of features. I'll run you through some key features in getting started with virtual mobile numbers. So I will just be sharing the customer portal end. So once you've signed up for an account, you'll get access to your own customer portal. Basically, like a bit like a retail store where you can purchase your own services as well as configure them. So my first thing that I'm going to be purchasing is licenses. So the licenses will allow you to essentially add users who can do two-way voice as well as send outbound SMS utilizing our product. Now, it's as simple as clicking add user. That will add a user to your account. Then you can select through the different call plans, which are in this column here, call plan, and you can select through the different SMS plans depending on what charges you want outbound. But essentially, if you wanted someone on, let's say, Unlimited Australia, and then the SMS special, you would select that, and that person would get access to those plans. Now, in here as well, you've got devices. So if you want one person to have access to the application on their mobile device as well as their desktop, you can add that to them. So they can have multiple devices for one user. Now, if I just submit this order, that will go through immediately and process. The next thing that we can add is just here in the left-hand side on this column, phone numbers. So part of today's webinar, we're looking at mobiles and SMS-enabled numbers. So we're going to be looking at these range of numbers here that we can purchase from. So if I click on a number, I can select it and it will show me exactly how much it's going to cost, as well as when I click save, it will apply it to my cart and add the charges. So if I wanted to proceed with this, I would agree to the services and submit it, and I've got my virtual mobile number. Now, once you have it, the first thing you can do with these mobile numbers is you can go into your active numbers section. As you have a virtual mobile number that allows SMS routing, you can set that up straight away here. When you go into SMS routing, you can see the three different options we offer. So if you purely just wanted the number with incoming SMSs forwarded to an email address, you can just do that. You don't have to add everything else on. Otherwise, if you wanted it to go to the application, which is the web phone, you can set that up here. Or if you wanted it to go to MS Teams using our third-party integration partners, you can set that up here. So this is where it all begins once you've purchased the number. Now, once you've set up what you want, again, you don't have to set up everything. You can set up one thing, multiple things. You hit save, and that will apply to the number. It does take a little while for it to refresh in the back end, up to 10 minutes. Usually it's pretty instantaneous, but obviously if there's a log, it will just take up to 10 minutes max. Now, let's say you don't want to just buy a number or order a new number from us. You can do number porting. So under the number porting tab, you can submit a number porting application to move your mobile number across from your existing provider to us, and then purely that number can be accessed via the application or whatever method you choose, and the internet, which allows you to share it between multiple team members or multiple people. Other things that we do have in these services tabs as well is you can enable call recording storage. So if you want to record all your calls and store them within the platform, you can do that. Or we have the free option, which is call recording to email. So you can email call recordings to yourself for free. The other little feature we have is voice artist. So we do voice artist generated by AI. So you can type out your text. It will give you a generated cost once you've selected all your settings and played around with what you like. And then you can generate that and upload that to your PBX. The other option we have for voice artist is professional recording, where you can listen through the different samples, write a script, and then you can request that to be recorded for you. You'll get a recording that you can upload into the PBX. With the third option of recordings as well, you can just do your own custom recording. So if you've got someone in your business that you like the sound of their voice, or they're clear and they're pronouncing things correctly, you can add them to your PBX by just using our system as well, which I'll go a bit more in depth in. Now, within the PBX tab, this is where you configure everything. So once you've purchased your services, you can add them in here. So for purposes of this webinar, I've already set up a user, but everything on the left-hand side here can be easily set up. So for example, if I wanted to set up that new user I just added to our services, I can click on it, I can drag it, as you can see, I can move it around and put it into our working environment here. Now, to configure each of these items, we can just click on the settings gear, which allows us to configure them. So this is more if you wanted that two-way voice communication or outbound SMS. This is where you'd go more in depth with users. So under here, we can add in an option. Sorry, this is test, and then we can add an email address in. So we've named the user, we've given them an email. Now scrolling down, you just go down in order. So we can select an account here. If we wanted to, we can give them a 4-digit internal number. So instead of having an individual phone number per person for external references or transferring references, you can just nominate a 4-digit number and then you can just transfer them to them directly. Going down, you can see once I've selected that sub account, it selects that unlimited plan that we're talking about in the SMS special that I selected. You can select their ID that you want them to have. So if I want them to have 893 as their caller ID, I can, as well as I can select their SMS ID once I've configured that too. Then if I continue down, I can also enable those call recordings we're talking about. So you've got call recording storage here, or you've got send call recordings to email. When you tick one of these or toggle them on, you've got options here to automatically record all inbound and record all outbound calls. For now, we'll leave that one off. Now your device configuration. So this is where you'll set up those devices that you want your user to have. So if you've given the user one device license, they can, well, you can choose for them or they can choose from one of the devices here. If you wanted to use our web phone, which is our in-house built application, we have a license for mobile, we have a license for desktop, and a license for browser. You just select one of these. If you do not have one created already, the system will prompt you to create one. And following through these prompts, you'll be able to add it to your user, click Save, and then you can click Apply Configuration. Now, when we click Apply Configuration, that will make any changes that we've made here instantaneous. Now, if you make a mistake or something happens, you can always go into the settings and you can always go to call flow and you can roll this back. You can also export and import your changes too. Now, with this user that I've previously set up, if we just go into the settings, you can see I've got everything done that we talked about just before, and I've added the Webphone Browser to this user. This user will get an invite to set their username and password for the web phone, and then they'll be able to log in. Because I have the browser version, I'm able to log into the browser version. But essentially from a user's perspective, once you've set them up, you can go into the services again, go back into your phone numbers, and you can set them up in the SMS routing for Webphone. So generally, you'll have this not defined, and then you can add them here. So this user has now been added to this number for SMS purposes. So when I go into the Webphone, I can see my SMS tab here. I can click on it, and I will be able to see my correspondence between people. So I can go into one and I can text between people. As you can see, correspondence appears on the right-hand side, just like if you were using a mobile device. You can see who's sending that. So it's C because this is customer success user that I have added. And then you will be able to see who sent you a message and what's been sent. With multiple users, you'll be able to see the multiple user names, as well as you'll be able to see the text between people. Now, sending a text is quite simple. You just type it out. It will tell you how many characters or how many SMSs you're using to send that. And then you just hit send, and that will send that test off. Now that test will go through to your user, and they'll be able to, your receiver, sorry, and they'll be able to see that, and then they'll respond. The good thing is on the receiver's end, they won't be able to see multiple people managing it. They will just see that it's coming from your number. So it still gives that illusion of one person managing the text, or it's just like a shared phone basically, but you've got that integrated system that everything's happening through. Now, with that, we have configurations that we can do for this user. So with this user, if I just wanted the inbound calls to come in, I can drag an inbound number to them. And then if I wanted it to simply just connect directly to this user, I can go into these settings for the number. And then I can click on here to move that number across. And I can just make a connection between these two objects by clicking and dragging. And now this inbound number will go to this user. Once I hit apply configuration, that is live, ready to go. So the other things you can do, obviously, we have quite a few different features here. If I wanted it to not just go to this user and then call end if they don't answer, I could add a voicemail to this. So essentially, if calls are missed or this user has switched themselves to do not disturb, it can go to this voicemail. Now, under this voicemail, we can configure a couple of different things as well. As we're talking about, you have default greetings, which will just play a generic message, custom message where you can upload your own file or record your own voice with the system. Or if you didn't want a message, you could just disable it. But generally, you would upload your own file, or you would record your own voice via the system, or you could get the system to call you and record it that way. Now, by default, it will use local storage. So you log into this system, or you can go into your Webphone user and view these messages. So when I add this as a user and hit save as default, we can go back into that apply configuration. We can, or the user can, go into their Webphone and refresh, and they will have a voicemail here. So if I refresh this page, now you can see voicemail's been added, and I can view them here, manage them, and delete them from here. Otherwise, if you wanted all voicemails to go to email, you can toggle off your local storage and toggle on voicemail to email. So we will email them to you for free. You'll get an MP3 or 4 file attached, and you'll get them directly to yourself. That's useful if you've got a team managing it and they want to have a shared inbox and you prefer to share it via the email and you manage it that way. The Webphone, if you do have a full team on that, it does work as well, but it all comes down to your own preference, as well as if you want to file them a bit better, you might be able to use your emails for that purpose. Now, let's say I do have a team scenario. So I have this user. I can put this user to the side, and then I can set up multiple different things as well. So let's think business. So if we think business, we can go, okay, I would like to use the time conditions. So I drag and drop time conditions in. I would like to add another voicemail. So if my calls aren't answered, let's say after hours, it can go there. And I want a queue. So I want people to be queued and hear on hold music. So you can connect these little toggles together. So I'm going to send the inbound number to this time condition first to check it. So I can click on the settings for the time condition and add a condition. So under here, I can add hours and days of the week. So if we go in and add, let's say, a nice day, let's round it off to 9 to 5, and then Monday to Friday. So once I set this time condition, I can go save. So there will be two options for this. So it's either going to match these time conditions, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or it's not going to match. What I can do is drag and connect. That'll make one little connection, and then I can drag and connect to the other. However, at the moment, this says if it matches, go to voicemail. So just basically during my business hours, I'm sending people straight to my voicemail. I can change that by clicking this option. So when I click on matches, I can change that to does not match, and that will switch them around. So logically now, if it matches my hours, it will go to my queue. If it does not, it goes to my voicemail, where you can set it up as you wish. Now with this queue, I can then add in users. So we can go call queue. If I had multiple users, I can set up different ways I want them to ring. This still works with a single user. So you can have a single user and you can have people on hold. So if you have a receptionist at the front, you can have a queue and have people waiting for them to answer the calls. But essentially, if you had multiple users, you can set up a couple of different ring modes. So you can ring all, you can do linear, one after another, round robin, or you can do least recent. Now, with this, you can then go down and add your own users here. So I'm going to add the custom success user. If I had multiple users, I can add them to this queue and they would all receive calls if they were unavailable. Now, with queues, you can add your own greetings. So just like the voicemails, you can upload a file or record your own voice. You can choose to play a ringtone. So if it's just a ringtone, it's just going to ring, just like it's ringing someone direct. Or you can do hold music. With hold music, you can upload your own hold music under the settings, and I'll show you that shortly. You can do periodic messaging as well. So let's say you have a promotion on, or you want callers to hear a message such as, thank you for calling. Did you know you can book online? You can add your own custom message and have that play at certain periods, which is within seconds. Now with queues as well, if you have a long wait time and you want to give people the option to have a call back or to leave a message and receive a call later, you can enable exit codes. Exit codes will add another option on. So your options will be maximum wait time is reached, which is set to default 10 minutes. We can set 2 minutes. Or you can play your periodic message. And in your periodic message, you may have, did you know you can book online? If you would like to request a callback, push 1 now, or push, let's say, 9 now. You can do that. Now, with that, you can then go within the system and connect this to here. So you can go to voicemail. So if my maximum time's exceeded, it will go directly to the voicemail. Let me just rename that. Now, if my time or exit code is entered, go to the voicemail as well. So you have quite a few different options there as well to utilize it. But essentially, once I add my user back to my queue and hit apply configuration, that will go live. Anyone who calls that number will go through the time condition. If it matches that time condition, will go to my queue, ring my users that are in the queue unavailable, and then go to my voicemail. So you can really utilize a mobile in multiple different ways. So you can have a team of people behind it instead of just having that traditional singular use of a mobile number. And then that team will be able to share the usage or the administration of that number, be able to text from it all together, able to see the correspondence and the history between the chats, as well as you can add people to your phone book. So if your team has a phone book, they can add numbers to the phone book, and then you can really get down into the gritty and have your clients' names displayed instead of just their number. Yeah, Dean, was there anything you think I should add here or continue on with to Q&A, I guess?
I think the only other thing was if you were going to show them if they were going to do a callback, a queue callback.
Yeah, I can
If
add
someone
that in.
pressed the exit code, rather
Yep.
than go to the voicemail, you could obviously enable that queue callback.
Yeah, so another good feature that we have, which is the queue callback. So it's just like having users in a normal queue, but essentially you can add them to a callback request. So in this circumstance, someone's pushed the exit code. That exit code has now gone to our queue callback. When I go in to configure it, I've added my user to here. You can set the caller ID you want it to automatically use. You can set how long it tries to call back for, like which users and how long it calls for. You're able to allow users to accept or decline them, as well as you're able to enable notifications if a queue callback fails to connect with a customer. So with this circumstance, with the person added to this queue callback, my customers come in, they've pushed the exit code because they've heard my message, they go to the queue callback, the agent themselves, whoever's unavailable, will get the call dropped on them, just like a normal inbound call. They'll be able to answer it. They will hear a message to say this is a queue callback, and it will automatically call the customer back. And then obviously you can have that conversation with them. So instead of manually calling them back when you get to the voicemails, you can always use queue callback, which is an automated way of doing it. Perfect. We can open that up to any questions. I will just bring up my document again. Just as a reminder, at the top, you do have the Q&A sections where you can post your questions and answers that you'd like to go through. So feel free to post those now. We're just going to open that up for you. Okay. So I will publish this one. So unfortunately, we won't be having MMS. So we have put that through a couple of times to the developers. It is a restriction of the VoIP numbers themselves. So our upstream providers don't have the technology to support it. So MMS is at this stage not on the pathway. Yeah, recordings will be published. So straight after this, we publish them to YouTube probably within the week, as well as an email sent out to everyone so they can access the recording as well. So with your licenses, they do work. So if you have one user in a queue, that one user can receive one inbound call. If you have two users, then you'll be able to receive a call each. So your calls are tied to how many users you have. That's the ability to answer them. So if you have additional users added to the platform, so under your PBX licenses, in this case, I have 3 users. That means I'll be able to receive 3 simultaneous calls from that queue, as long as I've got them added to that queue. So with SMS to email, there is no outbound functionality. It is only inbound SMS to email. We do not offer outbound through email. If you wanted the outbound, you'd need either the MS Teams integration with our third-party partner, the Webphone user license and device. Yeah, they're the kind of 2 options we've got with that. So one user cannot receive multiple calls. If you wanted multiple calls, it would need to be multiple users to manage those. So we've just got one here. Can we use this if we're located in Asia and wanted to call or message someone from AU? Yeah, so the web phone application can be accessed anywhere worldwide as long as you have the internet connection. So there's no foreseeable issues there. Now, can an auto return message be sent when someone sends an MMS to say they're unexpected? There is no automated functionality within the system. It is just A to P, so application to person. We don't actually have any automated platform in there. If you did want any specific feature requests, you're more than welcome to submit them and you can get a direct response from developers, but at this stage, there's nothing automated. I've got a question here. Can I port mobile numbers registered in my personal name to a VoIP line business account? Yeah, as long as you've got all the account information correct and it all matches, you can always port that across, filling out that porting application. Okay, so got a question here a while ago asking you guys if you're releasing API SMS service, wondering if that's still with your dev team. I know that you guys have Webphone app for SMS already. So API still being scoped out, still with the developers. There's not really much movement on that at the moment because there's so many regulations around it. There's so much requirements for anti-scam, anti-fraud. So once we do have something in the play, or if we do release something, we definitely will do a blast out and do a mass email out to everyone. And I've got one. Is there a provider you would recommend to enable MMS like Touch SMS? So you can definitely through our third-party partners. So through Touch SMS or eligibility, you can go through MS Teams. They have it through their MS Teams application, but it wouldn't be through like our web phone application because it's built through the MS Teams integration. So you could always integrate your SMS with MS Teams through that third party, and then any of the billing or any other costs will come through from them. So definitely possible through the MS Teams integration if you wanted to go down that route, but not just via the web phone. Dean, with all those questions, is there anything particular you wanted to add while I just give people a bit more of a chance to get their thoughts together and add a few more?
Yeah, no, I think that's been a very good summary. Obviously, showed people, all the different options that we've got available. Again, there are obviously more and more options becoming available as the developers improve different features and all that sort of thing. So obviously, we do as keep an eye out for those mass emails that come through saying, this is now available through the Webphone application, and be aware of those emails coming through.
Awesome. Nothing more has come through. So I think if there's anything else, people can reach out, but we'll end the webinar there today. But definitely, if you do have any questions or want to go through the retail arm of the business, VoIP Line Telecom's your best part. You can always sign up online using our sign up option. You can give us a call or you can email sales and we can assist you with any specific inquiries. And I'll hand that over to Dean to finish up.
Yeah, and then obviously on the wholesale side, if you are looking at becoming a reseller of our platform, obviously you can visit the website voipcloud.online, or alternatively you can give us a call or send us an email, sales@voipcloud.online, and obviously we'll be in touch with regards to the reseller options and all the different options available for you.
Again, thank you for joining today, and we'll shoot this out as an email shortly as well as post it to our YouTube. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Have a great day.